The View is live. Rudy's collusion confusion. The president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said it time and time again.
Russian collusion is a total fake news. If there was collusion with the Russians, they would have used it. No evidence of collusion.
So why did he suddenly change his story last night?
I never said there was no collusion between the campaign.
Pelosi's power move? The speaker claims President Trump needs to take his State of the Union off the floor over national security concerns. But the Secret Service is telling a different story. Plus, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall are throwing back Thursday to 80s greed, drugs, and dues on their new series, Black Monday.
Got him, boys.
Here come Hot Topics with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
To start. I must.
All right.
Because I came into the office today and I found this on my desk.
Woo!
Can of whoop ass.
You were also Andy Cohen's Mazel of the Night last night.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
And many others that texted me yesterday saying thank you. And then, Kate, it was so genuine because it's been a concern of yours for so long.
Yeah. Well,
You
somebody
bring it up
said,
almost every morning.
I do.
It's true.
Because somebody said to me, do you realize that if I had a heart attack on 34th Street, trying to get to the nearest hospital could take a really long time. And even when the is going, you know, people aren't moving because there's no place to go because you got meridians and you got parking in the middle of the street.
Yeah. My favorite part was when the audience mutinied because he was like, it's this way, and because there's a bunch of New Yorkers in here, and they're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I was like, audience is on Whoopi's side.
Well,
right now.
you know, the thing that prompted it really, really bad is when we had that huge major storm.
Yeah.
And all the folks kept saying...
I don't know if everybody realizes what the original premise was.
Okay. Originally, I think the premise was he wanted to have less cars. The mayor wanted less cars in the city, forgetting that many who work in the city have to commute because the buses and the trains don't always run, okay? But that's neither here nor there. So he said, let's put bike lanes. And now there's bike lanes everywhere. You can't make a turn. You can't go anywhere. Traffic is really slow. He said there's less cars on the road. Well, it seems like there's less cars because they're not moving. So I've been bitching about this because, A, if you're going to ride a bicycle, you should know how to ride it in the lanes. You should have to wear a helmet. We tell kids to wear helmets all the time. So I have a lot of things with this, but the thing that really sort of got me was when we had this giant snowstorm and everything was locked. No one could move anywhere. Well, it's because you couldn't move the meridian, because it's made out of concrete, to make an extra lane so cars could pass. Now, if you're going to do this, make it movable. Let us be able to pick it up and move it so if there is, God forbid, an emergency, people can move around. So I had it. And it takes 19, if you want to go to the theater, leave the day before.
The picture, because you're clearly thinking. You're like listening to him. And,
I'm trying to be respectful.
That's what this show's about, though. I thought that moment was exactly, you know what, we're fair, but like, you're not going to walk in here free.
Yeah, I don't know
you're
what
concerned
politician thinks they're going to come in on this show anymore with a free pass. Those days are long gone.
They never got a free
Long
pass.
gone.
Yeah.
They never got a free pass.
Outside.
The other thing.
Their birthday, yeah.
The other thing is I would like to wish Betty White a happy birthday. She's 97 today.
I know. And
still working and so
Yeah.
vibrant.
Everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a
amazing.
good one.
She's
a
still
good
going.
one.
It's
She's
rare
still
today
going.
to have everybody love you, right?
Betty White, pulling it off.
Yeah. Well, you know, she knows. Betty's the thing, baby. She's the thing.
She's a sweet.
Now, to something that isn't quite the thing. So the guy in the White House's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has always made one thing clear. Stop making me laugh. One thing clear time and time again whenever he got in front of the camera. Watch.
Russian collusion is a total fake news. Has nothing to do with collusion with the Russians. I mean, Mueller has no evidence of collusion. If there was collusion with the Russians, they would have used it. No evidence of collusion.
So, but last night, shockingly, he changed his tune.
I never said there was no collusion between the campaign or between people in the campaign.
Yes,
I
you
have no idea if I have not. I said the President of the United States. There is not a single bit of evidence the President of the United States committed the only crime you could commit here, conspired with the Russians to hack the DNC.
Okay. All right.
Anybody.
I think Cuomo speaks for the table here. I mean, he's basically said it all. I don't know if he is confused himself, Giuliani, or if he is strategically trying to confuse everybody, because every time I hear him speak, he contradicts something he said before, and I'm left with more questions.
Well, because every time he speaks, then Mueller proves him wrong. And so he has to wait till the next thing proves him wrong. So right now, what he's up to is there's no collusion with the president, but the men around him certainly haven't been indicted for collusion. So now, he doesn't know what Mueller knows, but Trump knows what Mueller knows because Trump did it. It's like that movie, I Know What I Did Last Summer.
I know what you did. I know what you did last summer.
I know, but I changed it a little. So that's really what's going on.
We still don't know that, though,
I was watching it in real time. I was watching the show. I felt so sick, you know, as a lawyer, because Rudy is a lawyer. I was like, what's going on? And Chris is a lawyer, too. The weird thing about it is, like, you know, first of all, what's the central question of the Mueller investigation is, was there collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia? And then you have recently Manafort coming out and basically that pleading. Does everybody remember that pleading that came out when Manafort, the campaign basically had that pleading?
Well, he gave polling information.
There was a polling information that Manafort gave polling information to the Russians.
So that they knew where to plant their lying ads against Hillary.
Yeah, you've said it the best. Right. So there's like no way that there wasn't collusion. So for Rudy then to say that, I think he was just getting tripped up with all the lies.
He's trying to catch up. He can't catch up.
You know, it's sad
He's a show pony for Trump.
And he's lost a lot of credibility, I think.
That's what of course he's lost. Really, he's lost a lot of credibility. What tipped everybody off, Mayor Giuliani may not have the same credibility he once had when he was the mayor of the city. It's very sad because he was America's mayor.
But that's the thing. It almost made you feel
I don't recognize this man anymore. I've said that on the show before. I think we all have had interactions with him, and
we have.
I think the Trump administration sends him out as sort of like a show pony to distract us because it's highly entertaining. We were laughing during. I mean, you weren't. You look sad, but we were laughing during the commercial break.
He was the U.S. attorney. He was the U.S. attorney of New York.
Yes, and he was a wonderful after 9/11, and I will always be grateful for that. But he's moving the goalpost for President Trump right now.
Right.
We didn't collude. We didn't collude. We didn't collude. Maybe we did. And by the way, the definition of collusion is really broad. It's a secret agreement or cooperation, especially for an illegal or deceitful purpose.
He gave polling data to the Russians. It's so obvious.
Well, that's Manafort. That's not Trump.
But Manafort was the campaign manager.
But I would love for Giuliani to do a serious interview. And not that that's not what happened, but like if he wants to do a serious sit down where it's not this sort of like emotions that you sort of get caught up in.
People need to look into their history books and see what happened with President Nixon. Everyone around him went to jail. Ehrlichman and Haldeman, who were his two henchmen, went to jail. It took about a year later for them to get Nixon.
So the end of all of this is
so sad.
He said there was no collusion. Now he's saying he didn't say there was no collusion. There may be a time when we just say, whatever, Rudy, whatever. We'll be right back.
Later, Serena slams shamers. How 1 year after the racist, sexist uproar over banning her outfit on the court, Serena Williams has a brand new look that has the crowd going wild. Later, Black Monday stars Don Cheadle and Regina Hall.
Welcome back. So yesterday, Speaker Nancy Pelosi said, you know who might want to wait a couple weeks before making the State of the Union address on the floor of Congress, citing national security concerns brought on by the government shutdown. Now, she suggested doing it from the Oval Office or submitting it in writing to Congress, which has been now Homeland. She's Kirsten Nielsen says the Secret Service is prepared for this. So what do you think?
Why does that make you laugh? It made you laugh.
Because I'm not a huge fan of hers.
Oh, yeah.
Because I find she's choppy. You know, so she could say, you know, the sky is blue, and it might be, but I would doubt her.
Yeah.
Because that's just how I feel
And by the way,
when I watch.
I think Secret Service is not getting paid, from what I understand,
No,
or at
actually,
least certain members.
They say security planning started months ago. Still, some of the employees who would be involved in the planning currently are on furlough and not work, including people in the intelligence and logistics roles.
Whoopi and I wouldn't feel safe.
Yeah. Most of the agencies for the Secret Service,
speak for you.
most of the agency's employees are considered essential and have been working without pay for the past several weeks.
And the
You know what,
TSA
though?
is not essential, and the air controllers are not essential? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't want to State of the Union, though, because of our State of the Union is shut down.
Yeah.
I mean,
80%.
isn't that
That's
reason?
fair.
I'm sorry, but our State of the Union is currently shut down. If our leaders in D.C. can't do their job, why should we give them a platform to speak from anyone until they can actually get their act together? I would want it.
agree.
I would not want it.
The other thing is,
I think it's important to rely on some of our experts as well. And I found that the great poet Cardi B had a great takedown.
She did.
And we have a video of it right now.
We really need to take this serious. I feel like we need to take some action. I don't know what type of action, bitch, because this is not what I do, but bitch, I'm scared.
So, Cardi, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I completely agree, bitch, take some action.
Right.
That's where we're at right now.
Right?
Nancy Pelosi in the House of Representatives is having to sit behind individual one while he lies.
that
Every
the
time he
president?
lies, she's going to jump out of her brassiere.
Yeah.
You know,
She's going to have to jump up and say, you're lying,
That's
you're lying.
a visual I did not need.
What is very interesting, and I think you brought this up, Joy, is that Nancy Pelosi seems to be one of the only people that Trump has not come out against.
No nickname
Had
for
no
her.
nickname for Nancy.
He's scared of her.
He seems to somewhat respect her, and I think many people didn't realize that Nancy Pelosi does have the power to disinvite the president. To come to Congress.
Right.
He doesn't have to, he has to have her permission to come and give the State of the Union.
Nancy Pelosi's daughter says,
Can
and
you
I
believe that?
love this, that she'll cut you and you won't know you're bleeding.
Yeah.
I think that is some real
So she invited him to give the
political-
she invites him to give the State of the Union, and now she says, you know what, nah,
No, I
miss
don't
me
think
with
she
all that.
invited
You
him.
can't really
I
come.
don't think she invited him.
did
I think
originally.
She did
I
originally.
think she's saying,
Maybe
listen,
she'll
But
cut
she
him and
says
you won't
no,
know.
no more.
it would have been fine, but
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there.
Yeah, she says no more.
Nobody should be sitting there.
They shouldn't do
No.
it, though.
No.
I completely agree this should be
Yeah.
canceled. There's no State of the
agree.
Union
Yeah.
because there is no union right now because they're shut down. I'm all for
Yeah.
this
He's
not
just
happening.
going to lie. Who wants
Yeah.
to hear it?
We'll see, though, if Trump does
There is
give her a
that.
nickname, because she is hitting the president where it
Yeah.
hurts the most. Because if there's one thing that he loves more than anything, it is sitting in front of people and being able
Yeah.
to say whatever the heck he wants
And
for an
having all
hour.
the TV
And
cameras.
now he can't do
And
that.
he's been working on this speech apparently for weeks. And Gary Cohn,
He's been working on it?
yeah, well, that's the word.
There aren't enough crayons in the world.
That's
to
the
work
word
that
on
No
the
president works on it. They have
That's
speechwriters.
the word on
everyone.
the street. But Gary Cohn, his former, remember his chief economic advisor,
Right.
who's now studying at Harvard, he said, I'm confused as to what the White House strategy is in terms of
Really?
the White House.
Another
He's
winner
trying to-
there.
he's trying
Thanks
to
for that
figure out
commentary.
what
Me
to
too.
do. He's trying to figure out.
I'm also
And that is
confused.
brilliant commentary right there.
What is
All right,
Everyone's
ladies,
confused.
we're going to break. Hey, now, welcome back. 1 year after the insane racist, sexist uproar over French Open officials banning the catsuit Serena Williams wore, which, by the way, was to prevent blood clots, fans are cheering her at the Australian Open for wearing this romper with fishnets. I always want to know, why Why don't people know that she's wearing compression?
Yep.
Why don't they know that this is a medical thing for her and she's trying not to, you know, look dowdy and awful and keep the beauty and gorgeousness of her going? What is the issue? What's up with y'all?
But she has blood clots. My sister almost died. She had 10 blood clots in her lung, the same condition that Serena Williams has, and she has to wear the same compressions whenever she travels or does that. It's very serious.
Yeah. Very.
I think people like to pick on her because she's the best player in the world, and she gives it right back to them, as we've seen.
Yeah.
She'll wear what she wants to wear.
And she's done so much for the league. I mean, when she went out on pregnancy leave and when she came back, her standing in tennis had dropped so much. Now that rule has changed. So she has made such changes in this league. And those fishnets are compression garments. We have so far to go, and she is the GOAT in tennis. And I don't know why it is. The greatest of all time. But that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I still didn't like it. I still didn't like it. Yeah.
Illustrated when it comes
was
to her.
drug tested more than any other player in 2018.
Yeah.
I've said many times I love Serena Williams for a lot of reasons, but part of it is her documentary, Being Serena, when she talks about her struggle with wanting to have kids, and her quote, which I had to tell this to my husband. I'm like, let Serena speak through me. She says, I knew it was coming. I was like, Serena, you're 35. You're ready. This is what you want. She sort of talked herself into having children.
Yeah.
And I think that I related so much that I was like, because I'm like, your body should want this at some point. But it impacted her career. She dropped to the bottom of the ranking. And then, she basically got screwed over. By
Babies will changed the league.
Babies will do
Babies will do that.
Easier being a ground
Interrupt you a
This
little.
is the other annoying thing. The president of the French Tennis Federation and American Federation, you ought to get behind her on this because you know what she's going through. You letting people talk about her like this. This man says one must respect the game and the place.
How is she not respecting the game? I don't understand.
She is respecting the game. She's the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay? She has brought more respect, more beauty, more finesse. She is not a pencil. She looks like a woman. So most French men, I believe, really get Serena. I'm not sure why you don't, sir. But the American, his name is not here, but the American Federation of Tennis, you should, instead of us bitching about this, I want to hear y'all bitching about this because this is so disrespectful. They're so disrespectful. We'll be back.
They're saying that it's the dress code, like the Wimbledon dress whites.
She'll be in white. She'll be in white fishing. So these are two fast things. So an employee who couldn't take their boss's bad breath and BO wrote to USA's advice column, asked what they could do about it. They said, take it up with human resources. Yeah, thanks a lot. Do you tell the person, do you say, look, we need to talk?
I don't know, man.
But outside.
That's tough.
I think you have to
I think Honey needs to speak for the table.
Well, I think you need to be very subtle.
There's a story we all have.
No, you need to be subtle.
We cannot share that story publicly.
All right, so the next thing.
Oh my God.
It's not about any of us smelling.
No, but it's about.
No, but
yeah, we can't.
You
can't.
threw me.
I'm
you
sorry.
threw me into the gauntlet.
You're laughing so hard.
We all had a situation, and Megan's like, you go in there first.
I said you do it first.
Oh,
I'm
let's
sorry.
stop
You
it.
know
And
what?
none
I'm
of us-
sorry.
none of
All right,
us
so
said
here's
it's
the
causing
second
paranoia.
category.
You're causing paranoia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's true.
Cats
Sorry. I'm sorry.
have always gotten a very bad rap about being social, but scientists say it's not true. They found that cats love to interact with people who pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's y'all. I'm sorry. It's maybe the human who's antisocial.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that's true sometimes about dogs as well, because
I don't care about dogs.
Excuse me. So I have goals, and you know this from Bernie.
You can keep talking about your cats, and then we'll see about
No,
dogs.
but there's
Listen,
something.
when was the last time you heard me talk about? You've heard more about chickens
It's true.
than you've heard about cats in a year.
That is true.
We know more about babies than we have heard about cats.
But you know
It's the
what?
one cat story.
And Bernie
My cat's
Sanders.
cool.
You cat. The thing, I love a cat too. I love
Yeah,
her. Who
cats
doesn't
good.
love
Yeah.
a little puss?
I don't like cats.
Wait, she had the greatest cat.
Oh,
named
Benito Mussolini.
What was the nickname?
That was his name, Benito Mussolini.
Was her cat.
But,
yeah.
you know, the thing about a cat, I love a cat. I've had cats in my day. But a dog, I'll show you this picture of Bernie, and you can't reproduce that. So you can't sleep in bed with the cat, because they'll scratch you.
You want to?
No, you can't.
Can you throw up my picture, please, of Oliver?
Oh, that is sweet.
Wait. My picture, please. My picture, please.
You have one, too?
Yes. That's the only thing I can take care of is my cactus. I have my cactus in my apartment. That's all I can do.
All right, I have one too. I have one too because
What do you got?
Bernie gets a shout out all the time.
Yeah, he does.
George, who you can find on Instagram at Golden George. This is my golden retriever. But what I will say is animals, they know someone's heart the minute they meet them.
I just said it. The only thing I can nurture is a cactus. And you're pulling out a baby and a dog.
I would like to say this. Everybody knows that
Here it comes.
This is a surprise. This is a surprise. I talk about my chickens a lot because I love my
Are you doing
chickens.
the bees?
However, I have 2 Cocker Spaniels named Rex and Marley.
Who knew?
Who love each other. They're rescues. I've had them for about 8 years, really.
I noticed they're not looking at you.
And do you see that they're not? But I love them, and they love each other, and they rest like that. They rest holding
Give
hands.
them more attention.
At Bernie Behar on Instagram. Check it out.
At Golden George.
At Megan's cactus.
I'm an animal lover.
My cat doesn't care. Doesn't care about Facebook, doesn't want to be on Instagram. Take no pictures.
It's Oliver,
We'll be
right?
back.
Oliver?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Regina and Don, and we hope you check out our new series. It's about greed and drugs and excess in the 80s.
Wow, that sounds dope. I would totally watch that show.
Well, guess what? You're in luck because it premieres this Sunday.
Man, I gotta put that in my calendar.
Oh, no, Don, that's not your calendar.
It's my hand.
Yeah, we're up next.
Tomorrow on The View.
TGIF.
Oh, yeah. And we're serving up one sizzling political view with Julian Castro, who just announced he's running for president in 2020. It's a view you just can't miss. Tomorrow.
Hey, the new series Black Money is a wild look at the lead up to the stock market crash in 1987, an era where power, greed, and plenty of cocaine had bankers thinking they could make their own rules. And they did. Take a look.
This is a place of business.
And I am head trader.
Of my company. It ain't called the Dawn Group.
And it ain't called the Mo Group. You named the place the Jammer Group like a record label, and nobody knows why.
Doesn't matter why. This is my place. I can do whatever I want. I can name anything I want. Watch this. This chair is now named Ham. The Panther. This is Karen. Your name is Tyrone. The door's name is Chris. And Chris would like to know, are you in or you out?
I'm out.
Please welcome 2 of the finest actors on the planet, and I mean this with my whole soul, Don Cheadle and Regina Hall. What's happening, girl? What's up? What's up?
Hello.
I love that dress.
I know.
Beautiful.
I made it.
Well, Regina, you know I've loved you even before when we were in that one very important scene together in Girls Trip.
Yes, and you were amazing.
Thank you, in my film debut. But seriously, you're everywhere right now, including the cover of Essence magazine. And congratulations, last week you won New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Actress for your film Support the Girls.
Yes.
And I was shocked at this. In 83 years of this award, you're the first black woman to ever win it. 83 years. I mean, how does that feel?
You know, it's amazing. I did say to them, though, I was like, y'all didn't see You know, what's love got to do with it? Color Purple? I mean, we've had so many immense performances from just amazing women. But, you know, I take it honorably, but, you know, I know it was set before me with so many amazing women, black women who have done great performances. But so I carry it for all of us.
You earned it. Okay? I told you. I told you.
Yeah.
You know.
So Don, Don.
Hello.
So I understand that you are very much the active Twitterer. Yes.
I've tweeted once or twice before.
What I'm always curious about it because I don't read what they write about me. I can't be bothered. Positive or negative.
Yeah.
I just stay away from it. So I'm wondering, do you answer negative tweets?
Sometimes. Sometimes I answer the twits of when they tweet negatively.
You do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, I mean, really, it's just kind of a diversion sometimes between takes. Like, oh, what are they saying on Twitter, you know? But it's an interesting platform to be involved in. And I've always been somebody who's been pretty vocal, and it probably comes from my upbringing and my parents, and my mom specifically, who was, you know, very vocal. And, you know, I've just always been told that you can, you know, don't start fights, but you can end a fight if you want.
And not to bring up a touchy subject, but you were in some kind of a little argument with Kathy Griffin.
I don't think it was really an argument. She said something.
Yeah, what was that about?
I have no idea. It kind of came out of the blue.
I think it had to do with the fact that she got in trouble for the Trump head thing, remember?
Correct.
And that she said that you were her friend, and then you didn't really support her, and she was mad about that. So
yeah,
explain.
And we weren't friends. I mean, I'm not dissing her like we're not friends, but I didn't.
Maybe she thought you were a friend on Twitter or on Facebook.
No, I met her on a plane, and we had a conversation, and then that happened, and people commented, and I literally tweeted that picture, though, with an emoji cringe face, and that was it. That was enough to trigger and set off.
You know, a lot of people felt that way. I think she's felt very alone, though.
Yeah,
that she didn't get enough support.
And I said, look, because somebody said to me in a restaurant, he goes, I hate her too. I said, hate her too? I didn't say I hated her. I don't hate her.
I don't know her.
I don't know her. She's not my friend. But, you know, this is my...
So it's not your problem. Like, let's move on from this. No, I mean, it's not your problem, Don. No,
you didn't do it.
You don't know her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But what I am interested in is your new show, Black Monday, and it's a fictional take on what must have led up to the stock market crash in 1987. It's about excess and greed in the 80s. I have to ask, it's the era Donald Trump gave us. Did he come up at all in the show?
We talked about that a lot, actually. We talked about...
She just shuddered.
Yeah. I think that's the correct reaction. We talked about, should we send him up? Should we lambaste him? Should we not talk about him at all? And, you know, in deference to letting people see the show and see how we deal with it. It was a topic of conversation as we were talking about the scripts, and because, you know, he's very prominent, obviously, in the 80s. That's where we first all heard about him. So it comes up. I'll let you guys see how.
And you have a very diverse cast, and it's a depiction of Wall Street. Was that intentional?
The casting, absolutely. I mean, I'll pat myself on the back for being in the show. It was very important to me that she be cast.
So good.
Yeah.
And your hair, the whole thing is just, you guys.
Did you have big hair then?
Well, I was born in that era. I was young.
Children, rocking the kids.
But
Please.
We've got
but I love learning about that here. What's so interesting about this time, too, though, and you guys say this, it is the pre-Me Too era. What's it like filming scenes in the times we're living in, but depicted back then?
Gosh. You know, let me just say, the guys on the show make it so easy, but it is incredible to see maybe how far we've come and how far we haven't come. We have a great, can I say a great episode about it?
You can kind of talk about it.
Around.
Yeah, I'll talk around it, but it is addressed in the show, and
we have a sexual harassment seminar.
Yes.
Ostensibly, it was one of the first sexual harassment seminars, and one of the characters, even when they say sexual harassment, he's like, what is that?
What does that mean?
But I don't understand what that is. Yeah.
It was the 80s. And most of you remember some of it.
Yeah. He has a line in it, the character says, and it's a comedy. He says, you know, obviously you can say anything to a woman,
right.
but there's 9 designated touches, and he goes through the ways that you can. I mean, it's over the top.
Yeah, 9 out of 11.
Yeah, 9 out of 11 appropriate touches.
It's
for
fun to
us.
do the research, isn't it? To see what's interesting.
Yeah, it's a crazy time.
And Regina, you are friends with another incredible actress, Regina King.
Oh, I love Regina.
And you two obviously share a first name, but fans have actually mixed the two of you up.
Yeah, yesterday someone was like, Miss King, can I have a picture?
Are there any persons?
Yeah, well,
This isn't Regina King?
no. I actually, literally, when my agent said Don called, I was like, no, there was no message from Don Cheadle. And I had met Don, but I didn't know him. I said, there's no message from Don Cheadle. And I said, I think he meant Regina King, because she's at the same agency. So I was like, it was me he meant. So I was so excited. But yeah, she's on she's won her Emmys and Golden Globes. So yeah, I've gotten gifts.
Didn't you accept an award?
I did, that's where we met.
Yeah.
I walked out on stage as Regina King to take her award.
Look, this woman here, you don't realize it. She is one of the great comedians.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One of the great comedians whose time it is right now. So thank you for making it this, Regina.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it this.
He's pretty good, too. He's pretty good, too.
Well, Don is magnificent.
Yeah.
Don is magnificent. But I think oftentimes actors hear it more than people who are funny. I know, who are funny. And so I just wanted to say that, because funny people often are great drama people. Black Monday premieres this Sunday on Showtime, and you can watch it. Check your local listings. We'll be right back.
Well, right now we are smack in the middle of a season that dries, cracks, and ravages skin. So we are finding out how to save our skin this winter from our sponsor, Olay's principal scientist, Dr. Frauke Neuser. Great to have you here, Doctor.
Yeah, welcome. Well, winter can be rough on the skin. We all can agree on that, right? What's one of the biggest challenges that we face?
It's actually dryness, so the lack of moisture in the air, which most people associate with summer and heat, but cold winter air actually gets much drier, which, by the way, is why you see your breath in a little cloud when you step outside.
I didn't know that was one.
And that lack of moisture can be really, really challenging for your skin, because in dry air, skin loses more moisture more quickly.
And it's your hands, it's your face, it's everywhere.
And why should you care? Well, dry skin doesn't just feel rough and tight and legs glow, but we also know it's more prone to wrinkling. So it's really important to help your skin and not just hydrate, but strengthen skin's ability to hold on
how do we
to
do
moisture.
that? How do we strengthen
Well, actually, first, before we go there, I want to make a quick point here. So what is dry air, right?
Yes.
So skin loves a relative humidity of, let's say, 40%.
Right.
In the studio right now, we have 15. That is...
In this studio?
In this studio, that's drier than the Sahara Desert. Not good for skin.
But we're in this studio every day.
So what can you do? So we talk a lot about, healthy nutrition and how you can keep your skin healthy from the inside out. But what you put on your skin and the skincare you use is really important too. And similarly, you're really looking for particular ingredients and nutrients, for example, vitamins. So a great way to strengthen skin and its ability to hold on to moisture is use skincare products with vitamin B3, which has been clinically proven to hold in that moisture.
And that's what you're talking, these products right here.
Absolutely. And think of, an analogy I love is leaky bucket. There's no point in topping up the water if you don't plug the holes. And that's what vitamin B3 does. But it's also a true multitasker beyond that and delivers more skin benefits than other vitamins. So where do you start in terms of products? Always I recommend a moisturizer, a full face moisturizer. I personally love the new Olay Regenerous Whip, which is fragrance-free, really light but really intensely moisturized. The other product I wanted to mention is the Olay Brightening Eye Cream, because the skin around your eyes is really actually even drier than the rest of your face.
Especially if you're in a studio like the Sahara Desert.
Exactly. So,
I didn't know that. I'm not coming to work tomorrow.
So those have both been formulated with levels of B3 that have been proven to be effective.
What are the results? What were the results?
Well, let's look at some of the results. So we've run a lot of studies and tests with these types of products, and I just want to share this recent example with you. So we ran a 28-day study with a group of women. that used multiple products containing B3, and you see one example here. So the before and the after. Now, she actually had pretty good skin before, but you see there's roughness, there's some hyperpigmentation, spots, very visible pores. And after just 28 days, you really see her skin is clearer, it's brighter, it's smoother, visible skin transformation that we see time and time again with B3.
Oh, so helpful this time of year. Doctor, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
And members of the audience are going home with a $100 gift card to Walgreens so you can pick up all your skincare needs from our sponsor, Olay, and we will be right back.
So there we are. We are so glad that you chose to watch us. We are so glad that you chose to join us. We want you all to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy the view.
Okay.